and thank you for your interest in Quiz. We've bred and raised him from birth, and we've spent a lot of time teaching him all kinds of fun things. He knows tricks. He has the beginning of Liberty training, and we just recently started him under saddle. He has about 25 rides. He will be 3 in April, and he's a really fantastic little gelding. I encourage you to please watch this video in its entirety. I know it's lengthy, but I want to show you everything about Quiz. So for the lay down, I just wrap his foot with the rope so I can hold it so I don't drop his foot accidentally. And then I do have a cookie, and I'm just going to put some downward pressure on the lead rope there, and he lays right down. I made a point for the lay down cue that I'm facing forward when I pick up his foot, so there's no confusion with just picking up his foot for cleaning them out and for farrier.
It says, you get me a cold frozen cookie for my efforts.
Yeah, that's supposed to be yummy.
Yes. It is. It's supposed to be delicious.
But he's very confident. I can rub all over him, and when I'm ready for him to stand up, I just give him a little room and he can stand up easily. This is just basic saddling. So now that I have the saddle on, I'm actually going to back him up and then ask him to yield his shoulders over so I can get to the other side. You can choose to tie him if you'd like. He will tie just fine for saddling. He ties very well. But I like to have him be a little bit more of a partner in the saddling. I ask all my horses to do this. It's a great opportunity to practice your yields before you get on. So I get to practice my backup and my forehand yield and have him be more of a partner in the saddling. And if he ever tried to walk off during saddling, I would just put him back. But we spent a lot of time working on ground tying and just overall relaxation and manners. So he should just happily stand there as long as I need.
Your brow band is drunk.
And it was super windy when we were filming, and you'll hear the round pen gate slam.
Oh, that was nice.
And he handled it really well. It was very loud, and the wind is just going. And I wanted to show you his in-hand obstacles. And it's lengthy because I left it in regular speed and I didn't want to cut the video a lot so you could really see how wonderful he is going through all the obstacles. He leads really well in between obstacles. He's very thoughtful. He's not cinchy when you saddle him. He's very playful. If you hang anything too close to his stall door, he will try to eat it. He's very curious and into everything. We've really tried to expose him to a lot of different things and get him really confident and desensitized, but also he's still very attentive. He's not dead ahead. He's really paying attention and listening.
Pretty sure he wants to eat it.
So in the circle, I'm looking for nice rhythm and relaxation. I want his nose to be slightly to the inside of the circle. So I'm looking for that connection. Here I'm going to change direction. And he was a little late, so I'm just going to block him with my stick, which I didn't even need to use that much. I taught him when I lift the lead rope like that, I want him to stretch his head downward. So I'm just going to lift it and then hold until I see his chin start to tuck and his head start to go down, and then I release. The reason behind that is when I'm on him, I'd like to be able to just squeeze that inside rein and have him think stretch. So from the ground, if you lift your rein and just keep the steady pressure until they stretch, you can teach him to seek that stretch on the ground. but I wanted you to see that even on a super cold, very windy day, I can pull him out, brush him, saddle him up, go through the obstacles, and then this is his first walk, trot, canter. And he's a little lazy, so I have to keep asking for the canter. I'm just going to insist. And that's pretty nice. I'd love his head to come down a little bit, but straight out of the gate cold, not bad at all. There's the stretching. And that change of direction was lovely, nice and connected. And you can see that in the beginning, it's a little tougher to get him to canter, but once he starts cantering, it's a lot better after that. The transitions are getting easier and easier, and then I was just waiting for that stretching to happen. There it is.
That was lovely.
And this is just more exposing him to different things. I want him to be really comfortable with a lot of different things so he's not startled by anything new. We've taken him on a lot of field trips, just taking him on the trailer. Anytime somebody needs to go to the vet, I put him on the trailer and take him. I don't always unload him, depending on where I'm going and what I'm going for. I'll just let him hang out with a hay bag. I've taken him a few times to clinics and just put him in an extra stall and let him hang out. So he has a lot of traveling experience. But he is still a green 2-year-old, coming 3-year-old. So we're just trying to expose him to as much as possible. He's barefoot. He has fantastic feet. He's not tender-footed at all. And the wind was just aggressive all day. But here I am showing that I just want to take that rein up and over the saddle horn and have him follow the feel around. And we'll do the same thing on the other side.
That's gotten really nice, Jordan.
So for mounting from a mounting block or from the ground, I want him to stand nice on a loose rein. I should be able to wiggle around and pet him, and he shouldn't walk off, so that's perfect. He doesn't care if you mess with his ears or anything like that. So here I'm just going to run down the reins and ask him to back up. So when I ask for the trot, I start with a squeeze, and if he doesn't respond, I just do a little pulse with my inside leg. I love that he's stretching. And then same thing with the canter. I'm squeezing and then just a little pulse with the inside leg. He has the most comfortable canter. He's really fun to ride. So you can see I lifted that inside rein just a little bit, and I wanted his head to come down. And in a halter, I have to lift it a little more because there's so much room between the knot of the halter and the actual connection. And when I stop riding, he's happy to just stand there, and then I'm going to ask for the backup. And I just kept asking until he relaxed into it and dropped his head. So here you can just see his legs. He doesn't have any scars or old injuries. He's got a nice thick mane and tail. He does have a brand, but you can't really see it. It was a freeze brand for American Warm Blood. He also is microchipped American Warm Blood, and he's hardship registered with APHC. He has a nice, perfect little center whorl right in the center of his forehead. He spends a lot of time standing tied with and without a hay bag, saddled, unsaddled. This is catching out of the field. He has gone out with mixed herds of mares and geldings, no problem. He's not very high in the herd. He's middle to low. He loves to play. In this video, he's in an individual paddock. I like an individual paddock. I can make sure he's getting all of his food. I can see what he's drinking in the winter. That's important. I want to make sure everybody's drinking, and I don't have to worry about anybody taking his blanket off because he loves to play. And the blanketing is personal preference. It's not as cold here as it gets in other places, but I also just choose to blanket my own because they tend to be a lot cleaner. There's a lot less mud for me to have to get off. Another good life skill is learning to be ponied. He's not tied, I'm just sitting there holding him. So some more groundwork things that Quiz knows. I don't want him to be scared of the stick. And he's not worried about it, but I also taught him that if I walk towards him like that, I want him to back up, so I've got the stick in front of me. I like that a little better than shaking the rope because I don't want him to pick his head up. I don't want the pressure to make him brace. So again, with the not wanting him to brace with pressure, I taught him when I wave the stick around, I want him to drop his head and relax. Side passing down the rail, I'm looking for cadence in the feet. I'd love it if he dropped his head down, so I'm just going to go around until his head stays down and he has cadence. Then it doesn't take much pressure to get him to side pass at all, which is lovely. I'm going to back up and squeeze in between me and the fence, and then I'll go the other way. And I liked that he had some cadence and he stopped with his head down. So I wanted to show as much as possible in these videos so you can really see all the things that he knows. So when I use a round pen, I'm really looking for connection. I don't want him to just run away and hit the wall. I'm not looking to get him tired. So I'm walking around, going towards his hip, and I want that nice arc that he's offering me. His nose is coming in. He's got a nice low head. And I'm using a horizontal plane of pressure, so I've got the stick out to the side, and if he's going slower, I will take it up and flick him kind of in the butt cheek. And if he goes away, so now he's going to the wall is pressure, so now I'm going to go up vertical line of pressure, smacking the ground, walking towards him until he checks back in. So the wall is more expensive. There's a lot more work on the wall, and if he stays connected and checked in to the center, he doesn't have to work so hard. So I'm waiting for him to check back in. I'm looking for his eyes and nose to turn in, and then I'll release the pressure and see if he'll come back to the center. So there he's starting to look in, so the pressure stopped. And there's the connection. And then I wanted to offer a turn, face, and follow, so his feet kept moving. That's great. And now we're going the other way.
Yep.
So the beginning of Liberty is stick to me, and then I really want to have that nice connection on the circle, and he's got it lovely at the walk and trot, and the canter will come. But you can see at the walk and the trot, he really understands to keep connected, stay on that nice circle. And when I ask him for a little more forward, he kind of goes away, which is fine. It's just more expensive out there. He's got to work a little harder. And you can see here he's starting to reconnect, so the pressure stops.
That's pretty nice.
And then we got another nice turn, face, and follow, and he's licking and chewing. I wanted to show how nice he stands for the re-blanketing. And again, you could tie them to do all of this, but I feel like it's great to give your horse the responsibility of standing there and practicing your ground tying as much as possible. So I don't really tie him for a lot. He does spend a lot of time tied just in general. He gets to see more, he gets to be practicing something, he gets to be standing tied and just hanging out, not working. But when I'm working with him, I like to practice the connection and the ground tying. Here I'm just asking for some flexion. I don't want his feet to move, I'm just looking for his nose to come around both ways. This is his first ride out of the round pen ever, so he's nice and relaxed. So I'm asking with my seat and my legs, and if he's not responding, I'm using the crop. I've used it on his shoulder and on his butt. So I'm having to use my inside rein just a little bit to keep him on the circle because they're not a round pen rail anymore, but he's doing great. And again, when I stop riding, he's right there. I love that he's stretching. He's just the cutest little guy, and he's so fun to ride.
Yeah, now pet the butt. You always pet the butt. Brilliant.
So this is our second ride out of the arena. This is a different arena, and this is our first ride English. The bit is the same. It's still that 3-piece snaffle that we've been riding in. It's just a different saddle and a different head stall. And again, the laziness, I don't mind it. He's learning how to balance. He's doing fantastic. We can add more forward as we go. I love how he's asking questions. He's checked in. He's not being sassy or bossy. And it's really important to me when I'm starting a horse and bringing a horse along that I never lose the relaxed halt on a loose rein. I don't ever want them to be anxious and I'm having to hold him still. I love it that he can always go back to the relaxed halt and he's not worried, he's not distracted.
What a good baby.
So we're just working on going and woeing and follow my focus. And there's the relaxed halt on a loose rein. Into a backup. And there's some baby Quiz just because he was adorable. He still is. And thank you for watching this video, and if you have any questions, please reach out.